You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers about hikers for everybody.
This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we hang out and talk about everything from hammocks and hammock camping to the group hangs from around the country. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we unwind, relax, and delve into all things hammock related. Join us as we swing into the world of hammocks, exploring tips and tricks for setting up that perfect hang, sharing stories of outdoor adventures, and discovering the latest trends in hammock camping and relaxation. Whether you're a seasoned hammocker or new to the art of hanging, this podcast is your cozy corner to kick back, escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and soak in the soothing atmosphere of the hammock culture. Prepare to be inspired, educated, and entertained as we embrace the hammock lifestyle together. So grab your favorite hammock, find that perfect spot to hang, and let's embark on a hammock-filled journey that will leave you feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the world. This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where every episode is a breath of fresh air. Let's get started.
Howdy, hangers. Welcome to this week's episode of the Hammock Hangers Podcast. Now, this episode is going to be a really special one because this is going to kind of be a first for us. We are doing a HangCon Europe recap from the Glizzy Gobbler Gang, which we'll go into a little bit later, here in Copenhagen. So we are all packed up and we are in our hotel room right now. Tomorrow morning, we fly out back to the United States. But for the very first time, the HangCon group is going to do a recap even before we leave Denmark. So everything is fresh in our mind. So with me, I have our HangCon contingent with me. We have one of our wonderful HangCon staff, Nick, aka the Glizzy Goblin himself, with me right here. And we have my best friend in the entire world, James, with me as well. So these wonderful individuals were able to come over to HangCon Europe with me, so I wouldn't have to go it alone this year, and really get to experience Denmark for the first time, get to experience HangCon Europe for the first time, and I'm really interested to see what their impressions were and what their experiences were like, and see if they're, we did spend a lot of time together, but they may have some different takes on some things than I would. So gentlemen, let me start by introducing you all, and you introducing yourself, and telling people what experience do you have with hammock camping. So Nick, I'm going to start with you. How long have you been hammock camping?
I think I've been hammock camping since about 2022 or 23, somewhere around there.
And we've known each other for quite a number of years. We've been camping together. You've kind of been my travel co-pilot, wingman, if you would, for like the last year. So we've done a lot of hangs together. We did Michiligan, we did Georgia Bushcraft together, and now we're here doing HangCon Europe. So it's really good to have you along, and I'll appreciate all your help that you helped this year. As well as Nick does a whole hell of a lot for us at HangCon in Florida as well. And James, we've known each other since, forever birth. Really, in the grand scheme of things, we were born the exact same day, the exact same hospital, like 3 doors down from each other. And we did scouts together. But tell us, how long have you been into hammock camping, and how has that been going for you?
I've been into hammock camping for about, I would say, probably 7 years. I think it's been about 7 years. It's getting old, so it's getting a little foggy. But you actually introduced me to hammock hanging, and we actually did. I believe we did a hang or two in my backyard and in a couple wayside kind of parks, especially in the dead of winter. And then I've been to 2 HangCons in Florida and now a HangCon in Europe. And it's been fun.
You've been to one or two fall sprawls too?
Oh yes, and I've been to a fall sprawl. Excuse me. And each of the HangCons minus this one and the fall sprawl, I got to bring one of my 3 children to each one, and that's been really a great bonding experience.
So this trip is kind of cool too, because it's probably the first time in probably 20 years that we've gotten a chance to like go out without kids and really, well, this is the first time since 1999 that we've gotten to travel outside the country. And we were in middle school then. So it's been a hot minute. So before we jump into talking about our experiences, I kind of want to talk about the gear that we took, because when you're traveling long distance, you've got to kind of be a little bit more specific on the gear that you do take, because you're working with bags, you're working with airlines, and making sure that those are kind of working out. Luckily, James, you're a veteran, so we kind of took advantage of you get 3 checked bags for free for Delta. So James was kind of our pack mule, if you would, for getting a lot of our bigger stuff that we didn't initially plan on taking, but we said, well, we've got the ability to, so we're going to take a little bit more stuff and bring a little bit more stuff back. But I have done this trip with just a carry-on and personal item, so it is very possible. So for me, as far as my bags go, I absolutely love my Patagonia 55-liter black hole duffel. It has never failed me. I can chug and plug a whole lot of gear into that bag, and I absolutely love my Osprey Daylight 26+6 backpack is my personal item. It works out really well. I just heard that they updated that here very recently, so I might be checking out I think it's called the new one. It's the Transporter 26+6. Has some really good. I was watching a YouTube video like earlier today and saw that. So that might be an upgrade that I'm looking forward in the future. But I also made sure that I also had my Red Paw Packs fanny pack. You guys have heard me talk about it numerous times on the podcast. I absolutely love it. It's kind of a game changer as far as just having that extra pouch that I can throw my passport in, chapstick, power banks, my earbuds. It holds my sunglasses. It really just keeps everything that I need at arm's length, and it's not necessarily in my pocket, scratching up my phone screen or just getting jumbled in the pocket. It also helps me keep receipts and other little random things that that I might acquire while I'm walking around the event itself. Nick, talk about like your bags that you brought, because I know we had a very similar setup.
Yeah, I got the Patagonia 55-liter black hole as well. I think it's the best bag if you're okay with pushing the absolute limits for a carry-on. But it fit in the overhead bins, no problem in either direction. So that's my overhead bin carry-on. My personal item bag is just a cheap Amazon bag, but it's been holding up pretty good. Took it to Michigan, and I like it. It's got a bunch of pockets and features and all that.
Yeah, I will say with the Patagonia 55-liter, it has the straps that you can wear as a backpack. So even when it's like fully loaded down, it's relatively comfortable to wear. I kind of sometimes wish it had a hip belt, but then that's adding a little bit of bulk. But like I've used it for the past 2 years, I think 2 or 3 years. Yeah, just the last 2. But I've also used it a lot domestically as well. Never had any trouble of getting it on a plane. Never had any trouble with it fitting in the oversized bin. And last year I had the sucker packed out as to the absolute max. And, you just kind of walk with confidence on the plane and throw it up there. And I haven't had any issue with that either. Now, James,
for around town, I just wanted to say I've been using the Patagonia 8-liter atomic bag, sling bag, and that's been super clutch when we pick up a little souvenirs here or there, or extra espressos.
Yeah, that came in handy today because I totally forgot my bag when I was at the hotel. So Nick ended up carrying a lot of our little random souvenirs out of the 1800 souvenir shop. So we went into
that are all carry the same products. But yeah, the Atomic 8-liter sling bag, highly recommend. Very comfortable. It's just a great little bag to have, especially for a trip like this.
So James, let's talk about your setup. So one of your bags was also a Patagonia Black Hole, but the 45 liter. Is it just 40? I think it's just 40. So a little bit smaller, but kind of the same dimensions. But talk about the other bag that you brought that we were able to really pack out.
Yes. As mentioned, military, so I have a lot of military gear. And I have my original duffel from 2008, my green Army duffel that I had at basic training, which is still holding up strong. I guess that would be 18 years later. So we used that is a standard Army duffel where we were able to pack, I believe, almost all of our actual camping gear, whether it be the chameleons or the superior gear hammocks, all of our chairs, camping coffee sets that Pheonix likes to have, where he has like 12 different coffee AirPresses. It was basically another black hole in itself, and that actually came in really handy.
I know when we were packing on the Saturday night before we left, I was really spazzing out because we had so much more room left over, and I was so used to only having a check bag and a carry-on. So I was just wondering, what am I forgetting to bring over? I know I have I'm bringing extra stuff, but we still have so much room. So luckily, at the end of the trip, I don't think there was anything really huge that I left behind that I really needed. So, hey, props on us for getting through that with packing. All right, so let's talk about the actual camping gear that we brought. So, for those of you that listen here, I am in a kind of a committed relationship, I guess at this point, with the Warbonnet XLC Generation 3 hammock that released the latter part of last year. And I'm still really, really liking that hammock and really putting it through its paces. Paired with that, I am using a Gen 2 Wookiee underquilt rated at 40 degrees. And a 40-degree black diamond, also from Warbonnet. Ironically, my entire setup was from Warbonnet this year. A diamondback top quilt and a 12-foot, I think it's 12 foot, maybe it's 11 foot, 11 or 12 foot mountain fly tarp. And so that pack out did really did good for me. I really do love the mountain fly, the thunderfly, and the mini fly tarps from Warbonnet. I really just like that kind of dimensions. Kind of the half doors, they worked really well. We weren't really expecting any heavy rain or too much rain at all. They were really easy to put in storm mode when we had a little crazy weather event while we were over there for 5 minutes. Most of the time it was kind of smooth sailing. The only thing for me that I would probably change, and if anybody's going to Denmark or anywhere in Europe around this time of year, and if they were to ask me about quilt sets, when I looked at the weather before we left, all the nights were sitting right at between 41 to maybe 38 degrees. So really relatively right at 40 degrees. So I was under the impression, hey, I should be fine. The reality of it, though, there were definitely some nights, probably closer to the lower 30s. And even with that loadout, I never got cold. I stayed pretty warm for all the nights that we were out there. But some of those nights where it got down into the lower 30s, I could feel the limits of my quilts being tested. So when in doubt, if I'm going to Denmark, probably in subsequent years, I will definitely recommend a 20-degree set all around. Just to make sure that you're warm. If you are a super warm sleeper, then maybe you can get away with it. But I would just say a 20-degree setup is kind of going to be my standard from here on out. So, but my gear worked out great. And other than the temperature ratings of the quilt, I wouldn't have changed a thing. So, Nick, talk about your gear setup and how it worked out for you.
Yeah, I brought my Superior hammock. It's a 30-degree. It's pretty much been my go-to hammock for a few years now, ever since I bought it. I just love that hammock. So I surprisingly haven't had the need to experiment with some new ones, which usually get that itch about every 6 months. And for my tarp, for the last 2 years, I've been using my bonded tarp from Dutchware. But for this trip, I just wanted to switch it up a little. So I took my all gray Amok 12-foot tarp. I just thought it'd be cool from Denmark's Scandinavian counterpart, made in Norway. And it's got the line lock, super easy. So I just thought I'd bring that. And it worked great.
And I like the fact that even though the tarp for the Amok is for a 90-degree hammock, you can kind of switch it up where it gave you plenty of coverage for your Superior gear.
Yep, you just move the carabiners over, rotate them, and you can run it regular lengthwise for a gathered end, and it's plenty of coverage. It's fantastic.
Awesome. So what about what was your top quilt situation?
I had a 20-degree top quilt from Hammock Gear, and as usual, toasty warm, no issues there. Super warm with the 30-degree Superior hammock. Yeah, just tons of loft. I mean, that's a very generous 30 on Danny's hammocks.
Yeah, like so me and you have the exact same. I have that exact same hammock, and I've taken it down below 30 and closer into lower 20s at HangCon actually a couple of years ago. And again, I never felt that it was even close. Like I never even remotely got chilled from any part of Danny's hammock. So solid gear choice for you. But again, like you went with the 20-degree top quilt. Do you think that was? Am I crazy in like saying, hey, 20-degree would probably be overall the better option?
Yeah, I would definitely go 20s all around. Yeah, 40 would be pushing it, like you said. Just play it safe and go with 20s.
Yeah, I mean, you could make it through with a 40, but if you wanted to absolute guarantee like super warm comfort, then yeah, I would also shoot for the 20-degree set. Yeah, I mean, even 30 is kind of a
tweener.
A tweener. Even not a lot of vendors really even offer a 30-degree range. But most people, if they have a colder weather setup, it is 20. So yeah.
And if no one told you, Denmark is extremely windy, so it's another little factor you got to think about.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering now with the wind, if I would have had like an underquilt protector, it was something to like cut that wind from sealing that loft, that would have given me a little bit of extra thing. So
yeah, probably would have.
Yeah. All right, James, talk about your gear loadout. Actually, so you actually used one of my setups just for like packing things. So
yeah,
you used a hammock that I have taken the last 2 years to Denmark, and one that I thoroughly enjoy, and that is the Dutchware quilted Chameleon. Again, rated at 40 degrees. It's an asymmetrical lay. So it's not as totally insulated as a Superior. But you also had a 40-degree top quilt from Hammock Gear and a 12-foot rectangular Dutchware bonded tarp.
HangCon.
Yeah, he got to represent. Yeah. So how did that set up work out for you?
Sure. So more of a back brief of it was that since I don't unfortunately hammock hang as much as others, so I have to kind of relearn a lot of times when I'm laying. This one actually was very forgiving, though. Even though it was an asymmetrical lay, which I'm not used to, it was nice that it was, the underquilt was sewn on attached, which is what the chameleon is. And I was able to fall right into line where I needed to be very quickly. Now I did not like basically fluff the underquilt portion. So that first night my feet were, my head was a little cold because I realized that there was no down in that area. Excuse me. But as the week went on, I kind of fluffed it up a little bit and I was able to spread it. And by the last night, it had moved from my feet basically to my head. But as comfortable as it was, that was probably one of my better hammock hangs. I liked this hammock. It actually makes me want to start looking towards the actual combined underquilt attached type hammocks. It was very nice. The tarp actually never gave me any issue. When I did use it, the first night I forgot to pull it out of the snakeskin. So it was a little bit of a cool night. But as we got actually to the festival and had it hanging, I did see some of our counterparts or some of our friends' hammocks kind of blow with the wind and come out stake-wise. But the Dutchware tarp was just on point the whole time. And I really had a great time. Again, just to reiterate, it was one of my best hangs that I've had, comfort-wise.
Oh, awesome. So I'm trying to think of any other piece of gear that kind of stood out for you guys that like it really made the trip. For me, like the past few years, I've been rocking Solomon trail runners. The ones that I bought a few years ago, they weren't going to work out anymore. I've taken them, put a lot of miles on them, and they were just not going to hold up with the amount of walking that I knew that I would be doing, not just at the festival, but in Copenhagen as well. So I got a pair of Hokas that I've been kind of wanting for a few years. I got a pair of the Speed Goat 6s, and like an idiot, the first time that I wore them is when I laced them up for us to drive to the airport on Saturday night, Sunday morning. However, these shoes have been right out of the box comfort, super, super cushy. And we put a lot of steps at the festival, and we sure put in a lot of steps today in Copenhagen. My legs are tired, but overall my feet feel relatively good considering how many steps we got. So these Hokas have been absolutely great. I've heard so many great things about Hokas over the years, and I've never really bitten the bullet on one, but I did for this trip, and I couldn't be happier with my shoe choice. Nick, did you have any other piece of gear that you would say that kind of lit up?
Definitely my Lightheart gear, or my Lightheart hoodie.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. Definitely, that was awesome.
The temperature swings are just constant. They're nonstop. Whether you're in the shade, you're in the sun, and the Lightheart hoodie is just perfect. It's breathable, but it'll keep you warm. When you're in the sun, you don't get too hot. And when you're in the shade and that wind starts picking up, it's got you covered. And we pretty much lived in it the entire trip. So big shout out to Lightheart gear.
Yes, very big shout out. Another thing that I think me and Nick and actually Pheonix had to we got was the Danish Outdoor Festival staff. Amazing, huge shout outs. They knew that the the Americans might be a little cold the first night or two while we were there, so they actually lent us out their down ponchos, and it was.
I think those were like Thermarest.
Yeah, I think
Thermarest, Honcho Poncho.
Yeah, they were amazing because from the moment you put them on, like I mean, you were wrapped in an underquilt, and it was just you didn't have to worry about any of the wind. It cut the wind. Honestly, I lived in it almost every night. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, definitely around the fire at night especially when it got a little bit breezy. And even a little earlier on Saturday. I think Saturday was probably the worst day for like the wind. Wind was crazy on Saturday.
So Christian, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you, Christian.
All right, so let's talk about our actual traveling. So we got to the airport really, really early. We had a 7 o'clock flight, and so we had to roll into the airport probably around 4:30. Get all of our bags checked in. Didn't have too much trouble with that. It was a little slow at Delta check-in for like getting to the back. I'm not too sure exactly what the holdup was, but our flight over from Orlando to JFK, pretty smooth sailing. Once we got to JFK, we had. What is it, like a 6?
It was supposed to be a 7-hour layover, but our plane had gotten delayed by an hour because we loaded onto it, and they made us get off and go to a different.
They loaded the wrong amount of fuel.
Yeah, they put fuel to go to California in it, and I was like, well, that just means you have extra. Apparently, that's not how they felt.
So something about the math with the fuel weight and stuff. So that's right. I had forgotten about that one. So but still, we end up.
Oh yeah,
a while. But I don't feel like that layover felt super crazy long as much as I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so it was supposed to be a 7-hour layover. It actually turned into a 6 because of the hour we were moving around. And then on top of that, you still load your plane for the international flight an hour early. Basically, it's like 50 minutes. They're starting to load the plane before it takes off. So really, that 6 hours became like more like 5 or 4.5, depending on if you're traveling between gates, getting a little food here. It actually, you're right. It didn't seem that long at all.
I think you went and got a massage.
No, I thought about it.
I thought that was at the JFK.
No, I had talked about it.
Oh, okay.
But instead I just walked around a bunch.
You get a little food, walk around, look at the gift shops, and before you know it, 7 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just remember. Yeah, remembered. I actually had a travel day flight down a day before we left to come meet you guys so we could go together in Orlando. And my only advice to that is if you're going to fly Breeze, and I'm not talking bad, but if you're going to fly Breeze, they are sticklers for that. Like 40 minutes before the flight takes off, they shut down the ticket counter. So I was not able to check my bag that was going to go from Greensboro, North Carolina to Orlando. I actually had to make it a carry-on, and I had to lose a couple pieces of luggage. Well, some contents of my luggage because they wouldn't. It wasn't able to be carried on.
Gotcha.
So like pocket knife or something, for survival, but.
Gotcha.
So just be careful and make sure that you're always checking into your flight, even if it's a domestic flight, an hour early.
So we have our really long travel flight from JFK to Copenhagen, which was about a 8-hour flight. We were at the very back of the plane, very back of the plane, which in a way was good and a way not so much. We didn't have anybody on the sides of us, but the cart definitely hit my elbow a couple different times coming up. I know I tried to sleep, maybe somewhat successful. I think I was more successful sleeping on the flight from Orlando to JFK than I was from JFK to Copenhagen.
Same.
We had a little bit. We had a little bit of an upgrade for the one from.
Comfort Plus.
We got Economy Plus. So we did not get that for our long flight.
No.
But we landed in Copenhagen at about 6:00 in the morning. When we left Florida, it was approximately, during the day that day, it was 87 degrees. When we landed in New York, it was about 50 degrees. But when we landed in Copenhagen, our temperature said it was a whopping 30 degrees, folks. So we had quite a switch in weather and the clothes that we were wearing. James, didn't you have shorts on?
Yes, I had shorts on, and the second I stepped out into the beautifully 30-degree weather, I don't know if you guys remember that scene from Cool Runnings when they get to Calgary in the middle of winter, but I felt like I was going to have to be dumping all of my clothes out of my bag and putting them on and carrying my bag as a jacket.
So from Copenhagen, we had a train to go to another city in the country, Aarhus, which I'm sure I'm butchering, but to see our buddy Christian and Nils. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Nils just had a kid 10 days ago. They had been home for 3 days, and likewise, he was not able to attend Danish Outdoor Festival this year. His higher priorities, but he was able to kind of meet us, and we got to hang out with him. But it was a 4-hour layover in Copenhagen before our train to go over there. So we walked through a little bit. We did not know about the luggage lockers, so we kind of hiked around maybe a mile or maybe 2 with all of our luggage. 0 stars, do not recommend.
Will not do again.
Yeah, will not do again. I did find their luggage lockers not too far from Copenhagen Central, that if that happens again, I will be utilizing those. But we were able to go to the coffee shop that I go to every single year. It's the very first coffee shop that Don, Paul, and I and Corey from Majestic went to our very first year, that has such a special meaning. I was able to get coffee. We were able to get food. I got my first cardamom bun. So what was you guys' first experience as far as Danish food? Because I know you guys have heard me talk so much about how the food is so good.
Definitely the coffee and the cardamom bun, because I don't think I've ever had a cardamom bun, and I don't recall them ever being sold in the United States.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them in the United States.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good cardamom bun. Just keep repeating it, but it's it was different. It's something that I didn't know what to expect, because I'm not big, huge kind of the pastry type guy. And I wouldn't even say it's really a pastry. It's more of just sweet bread, with sugar. But it was enjoyable, especially after that long, very not sleepful flight.
Yeah, our breakfast on the plane was
They didn't throw it at you though.
They didn't throw it at me. Yes. Shout out to Air Canada. So yeah, with the breakfast, what is it, calzone that they gave us?
Yeah, breakfast calzone.
Yeah, it had a weird texture. Those eggs aren't that. It won't rot. It won't rot.
No, but the coffee hit the spot after the mile walk.
So now we get on our train, and we think we're doing good. I found the platform that we were on, and we get into the correct car, and we're ready to go. And then there's people in our seats, and there's this little old lady on her seat, and I really am naturally a very kind and loving and compassionate person, but I had about 4 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours. And it was a 3-hour train ride, and unfortunately, I had none left to give. So
that's right, folks. He made the old woman get out of that seat.
I said, in the loving words of Jesus, "Get out." I that's my seat. fast forward literally 15 minutes later, and we are known. We are let known because it's all in Danish that they have mislabeled the car numbers, and we are not in the correct seat. So, yeah, we got kicked out of our seat to move to another one, which also was not the correct seat.
Right.
Which
It still had the old numbers.
It still had the old numbers. So we thought we were doing good, but yet again, we were kicked out of our seats again. However, the second time that we were kicked out 3 or 4 car lengths down. And luckily, James was gracious enough to hop back and kind of ferry our luggage back like 5 times.
Yeah, I made friends with the old car mates.
Yeah. So I was done. I'll just be real. I sat down and I was like, I live here now. I don't remember. I was really looking forward to the train ride over, and yeah, I slept pretty much most of it.
I think we all did.
Yeah. It was a very quick 3-hour train ride.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I'm really surprised that. Yeah, I didn't oversleep with that because man, the seats were much more comfortable than the plane, and that sort of gentle hum of the train, and the car was nice and warm, and I was tired as all get out. So we arrive in Aarhus and make our we get picked up by our good friends Christian and Nils, load up all of our luggage, and we get ferried out to so last year we went camping right out of the gate. This year because of Nils's baby situation, we actually chose to stay at kind of a hostel-esque place called the Roberta's Society, and gosh, it was relatively cheap. It was about $100 for us for the night, and it was really nice. It was really small, but for what we needed, it was absolutely perfect, and it kind of fit our kind of budget-friendly mindset. So basically, you open the door, and there's a hall about 2 inches wider than your shoulders, and you got a door to your right that opens up into a pretty darn big shower area.
Yeah,
and to your left, you have a toilet and a sink for the bathroom. And then a little bit further down this hall to the right, you have just a set of bunk beds kind of built into the wall. And to the left, you've got a bunk bed, similar mirrored system on the other side. And yeah, that was the entire room. There was no like chill lounge couch area, nothing, no windows, no.
It was like an old submarine.
Yeah. Now, something that we realized later that night, in Denmark, they really don't have air conditioning. They have central heating because of the weather, kind of being chilly. But at this point, there was no airflow going through the room, so that was kind of an issue. And with it being no windows, there was no windows for us to open. So we luckily we acquired a fan.
Yeah, we went to go get me and Nick went to go get the Wi-Fi password. This was all right after dinner. We'd gotten back to the room, and while the 2 minutes it took us to go get the Wi-Fi password, Pheonix had like passed out on the bunk. I mean, shoes on, belt on, everything. Like, he was so beat. He was done for the day. I came back, and then I went back and grabbed a fan.
And when you came back, I was passed out.
Nick was passed out. And then so I just basically turned the fan on, and apparently I couldn't figure out how to keep it on. So in the middle of the night, I had to get up and turn it back on because it was on some timer. But I mean, at least kept the air moving in the room, I would say.
Yeah, I was out even before you guys got connected to the Wi-Fi. It was yeah.
But it was a very nice modern place. It was very clean. It was cool. It had character.
I mean, it didn't like fulfill any of the I guess stereotypes that I would think of, like a European hostel, just kind of like run down. It was very nice, and again, it suited our needs absolutely perfect. We were just there for one night.
We'd do again.
Yeah, absolutely. So our second night, we were able to go. Well, during the day, we traveled around, and we saw a little bit more of the city. But then when we got in the car, we went into the Danish woods and met up with Caroline, Nick's, or Christian's, the young Dane Christian, because we'll mention a few different Christians on this episode. Caroline and our other friend Nils as well, different Nils that I haven't seen since our very first HangCon that we went, and we were able to kind of catch up with them. We had Red Deer burgers this year with bacon, which were amazing, and
Wednesday snails
the next morning, and like really good coffee, and most importantly, we got a nice little pre-festival campground, and this was you guys' first night camping in Denmark.
Yes.
Talk about that experience and how much that might be slightly different than camping in the States.
Well, to start off with, the area we were at, the ground cover was amazing. It was moss covered, but it was super soft. It was like walking on a really very comfortable carpet, a shag carpet. I don't know. It was just super soft. And it was everywhere. It covered no matter where we went to set up. This beautiful green mossy ground cover was there, and it was also very quiet because my understanding is like all of the woods in Denmark are kind of it's like you can camp there, but it's everybody's. It's like, and you just have to clean up after yourself, of course, and they have. They have like only a certain amount of woods, but it's like all concentrated and mostly in one area.
Yeah,
I think it's what Christian was saying, and it's just beautiful.
Very quiet out there. Very just beautiful. Kind of what you think of when you're a kid and you imagine a forest, like between the moss ground coverage, the super tall trees everywhere. It was like a hammock paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really nice and secluded and quiet. And
yeah, we didn't get any road noise. It feels very almost fairy tale esque, like like a Sleeping Beauty frolicking through the forest, but without like there weren't a lot of. I felt like I got a lot more animal noise.
Yeah, no animal noise.
No, hardly at all. Yeah, and one thing, and I've had this experience in numerous different places. Some of the campsites in the States, even though the ones that are kind of like maintained by like staff, are still uber dumps, and like nothing is left there. Like if you leave it, somebody's gonna jack it. The campsites in Denmark, like people will like leave for other people to use, like saws and axes, cooking utensils.
Pots.
Yeah, like, and it's
storage like of Cokes and so
there's an
snacks.
honor system snack bar. Like,
that honor system is like, all right, cool.
I mean, it's just really, really cool, and everybody like kept the bathroom situation like really clean. They had a Donaker, but it was in it like a little shed, but like again, super clean.
Plenty of toilet paper, hand sanitizer, just super nice.
And the water, like there was like a spigot of water, but it was one of those, like in the States, there's a lot of places, if not most places, like you wouldn't want to drink out of this pipe coming out of the ground.
And it wasn't just like a pipe; it was like a beautiful, almost like a Moen type faucet. It was really nice.
Yeah, kind of like you'd see it. My impressions were kind of like the water hookup at a campground, but the water was like clean, pure. Like, I mean, there was no taste, which is what water's supposed to be, but the no taste made it so refreshing. And you could trust that it was clean. It was great. So
yeah, the just overall the water in Denmark is better than any bottled water that you have no problem like just drinking water right out of the tap. So we had our pre-camp thing, and that was amazing. Unfortunately, neither Nils or Caroline could join us at the festival maybe next year. But then we roll in with Christian to the festival, and this is when kind of the real action starts. So when we get there, they're still setting up. One of the first things we do is to hop in and moving some lumber from one place to the other so they can get some stage built. We see Christian Milbo, and we see Julie. We see fake Christian,
Renee.
Christian number 3, Renee. We see Dutch. We see Fee, which were already there, and we see a lot of our Denmarkian friends. And that's when the hugs start. And we get everything set up, and the first day is just really chill. Like we got everything set up. We set up in the same place that we did last year, which I absolutely love. It's right into the woods, right by the fire. So late at night, because we totally don't go to bed like we should. And some of us stay open really, really late. But we have an easy access to walk back to our hammocks after, nights of fellowship. But we get all set up and we're chilling, and we have our first night around the campfire. And even though there's a few people there, even that first night around the campfire, you kind of got that starting, that simmering of international flavor. We had about 3 to 5 different countries that night, of people just around the fire, talking with each other, sharing stories, sharing experiences, and just making fellowship. And it was really nice. What was that kind of like first impression for you guys? Because I know what mine is, but the people have heard me say it numerous times. But what was your take on that first night pre-festival?
It was just very welcoming. The DOF staff actually was doing a dinner for us. They made some white rice, and they had about 2 or 3 pots of chili going over open fire. So that was pretty cool. It was really just a super chill night to get to know everyone and have kind of like a little VIP dinner, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean this is a reoccurring thing each night, but being welcomed and feeling like a sense of family. Like it's just been a while since we've seen each other, and I've never met these people before. To get that reception was just overwhelmingly. It warmed my heart, is what I'm saying, because of there was also a chill in the air. But it was so nice that these people they hug you. That's how they shake hands. Basically, it's like, hey, can I give you a hug? And I was like, sure. And you just feel like you belong from the second you meet these people. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like that first night was a great ease into this festival, knowing that I'm going to have a great time no matter what. And these people are now going to be friends forever.
So we have our first night. Going into Thursday, it's pretty relatively the same. You have some more vendors coming in. We see a few other of our friends kind of start rolling in. Our good buddy from Norway, Rune, had to be reminded that DOF was that weekend, but he so graciously was able to move some things around in his schedule and come hang out with us as well, which I was also really super stoked about, because I would be very, very sad if I came to Denmark and I didn't see Rune either. So luckily,
he jumped in and drove 8 hours
like nothing. Such
on my way.
Such a great guy. Luckily, I was able to see pretty much everybody that I wanted to see. I was able to see this year, even though I would have loved to have Caroline. I take that back. There is one person, Panilla. I know you just had a baby, but we miss you, and I wish we could have seen you, other than just dropping Nils back off at your house. But other than that, I saw all the vendors that I had previously had talked either last year or 2 years in a row. Rafal and his crew from Lesavik. There, Tommy from Schwarzenbene, he was there. and a lot of other people that I was really looking forward to see. I'm pretty sure that I saw most everybody, if not everybody, that was kind of on my little impromptu list that I had going on. So when we start the festival, there was quite a few people there on Friday, and the hammock area just kind of exploded Friday afternoon. Saw a lot of different setups, kind of just coming in. Most people seem pretty prepared. There were like two people that kind of had a kind of ragtag kind of setup and blue tarps. It was really, really short. Kind of like the people that was hanging near us the first year. Unfortunately, they did not make it a second night. It's one of those things. I wish I had the gear that I could bring over that I could share with other people, but I don't at this trip. So we also had another friend of ours, Jonas, come over and join us. We had our friend Klaus came over and hung out with us in our area as well.
Tommy was a great surprise.
Oh yeah, Tommy. Our friend Tommy from HangCon. Also, John Groover came over as well, and it was just a really just great experience with everybody coming in, and also a lot of new friends that we got to meet. So Friday night was the very first night where we had probably about 30 people around the campfire, and it started to grow. But again, I kind of felt like the vibe was still very like family reunion, even from a lot of new people that had even had no idea who I was.
Yeah. Just from the moment we woke up and we would go get our morning coffee and bread, as soon as we got back, we would it's almost like we would see someone new or one of our people we hadn't seen yet at the festival, and immediately jump into just reunion mode. And then, like I said, Friday the festival started, so that was kind of nice to actually be able to go around and see all that and actually talk to some of these people, and just start making connections. And again, back to the fire at night. We had a fire every night, and it was
lots of storytelling, lots of sharing beverages from
yeah, especially Saturday night. But yeah, it was great. Like you don't even like realize who you're gonna meet, and then like whether it be an influencer, for a muck, or a forklift driver from Volvo, but immediately you just fall into great conversation around the fire. And I can't get over how much I feel like this, like, I know that Pheonix talks about this being a second home kind of feeling to him, but I've started to pick up on that feeling. And while being here, like I could see myself coming back here many more times.
I was really glad to have my talk on Friday evening. It was nice to have it earlier in the event that I may not have gathered the same crowd that I would have if I would have done it on Saturday, but I was glad to get it off my plate. And the lady that was introducing all the speakers, she has some really great things to say about. She always looks forward to my talk because it's so uplifting. And, I just say that the truth in that it truly is not me at all. It's really just pure stories from the actual hammock community and how wonderful that community is beyond just whatever I do with HangCon or whatever I have to say on stage. It really is each and every one of you all that makes that experience such a uplifting topic, not just here in the States, but part of that global message as well. So Friday night, awesome. Saturday night, even more incredible. We counted the countries or continents around, and I think we got up to 12 different countries, over 3 different continents that was gathered around the fire on Saturday night, which was absolutely crazy. We were playing music, we were singing. We actually, after the raffle, we were able to call. Unfortunately, we weren't able to video call like I wanted to, but we were able to give Shug a big group call, and
Oh, buddy,
it was really good for the people that came over to hear him, even though he couldn't be there this year, and you could just see just smiles for miles while they were there. And so Shug, I really appreciate you taking your time out of your crazy schedule. I know you're not too busy right now, but still, we thoroughly appreciate you checking in with us. It really did make a really special moment for HangCon Europe this year when people were able to, hear from you, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Saturday night was just amazing, which it always is. It's for HangCon Europe. It's always my favorite night. Just so many different things going on, so many languages being spoken around, yet it still doesn't ever feel that even I may not understand what someone is saying next to me. I never feel like excluded. There's always something going on, meeting people from different countries, sharing just life experiences in different cultures. And I sometimes I think I take that for granted. Just, yes, we are all part of this hammock community and this family, but we all are coming from different places and very different cultures in some cases. And, I love that intermingling and how it's really just turns into this homogenous mixture where everyone is just together. And it really does signify that family connection for me. I don't know how you guys felt as far. It's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's, again, I know I've said it a bunch, but like this is like, one of those brothers and sisters from different mothers kind of thing. I know that when I see these people again, it's going to be like I just left.
Yeah. So, but with that said, I was also trying to convince myself all night Saturday that, this is just Friday, right? Like we've got another day of this, because Sunday's hard. Yeah. Sunday is really hard. I thoroughly enjoy every hang that I go to. I really, really do. But for some reason, well, I know the reason. I have a really hard time leaving this particular hang. It's very emotional because when I see a lot of my Danish friends in January, it's I'll see you again in another 3-4 months, and it's relatively okay. But when I leave this one, I know that I won't see them again for another 8 or 9 months. And then some of my other friends that really do mean a lot to me, especially some of the vendors, and some people like Rune, or although Rune's coming to January again, I'm holding you to this. But some of my other friends that I may not see them for another year. And I know that I won't see them for another year. It's not like, we might randomly run into each other at a hang in the States, but it's definitely going to be a year that I won't see these people again. It's hard. So Sunday is just a morning of goodbyes. And while it is kind of bittersweet, it sucks. And I know that me and Christian have talked about it a little too. Even you don't like the whole long goodbye, so you just kind of scrap out. I can't do that. I want to kind of stay and linger as long as I can. James and Nick pretty much had to almost drag me away from the the festival. But
we didn't want to, by the way. We didn't want to drink.
Yeah, we had probably a 45-minute train ride back into Copenhagen, and we left DOF for 2026. But happy to report that we got off the train when we were supposed to, and I did not have to, like last year, watch as the train drove by and left Shug there while I was on the train while I was supposed to get off. No, we were able to get everybody off, all of our luggage, and land here in Copenhagen at a place called Annex Copenhagen, where we're staying at now. Again, a very like a little hostel-esque place. It serves us well. It's got a little.
It's got style.
It's got style. It's got character.
It's got feng shui.
It has some funk behind it. I don't know about shui, but no. It's a nice place. I'm pretty sure that it's like one wire away from an electrical fire at some point, but no, it's working out well. I would stay here again if I was not bringing my wife. But
it's got a certain je ne sais quoi, if you will.
It's not too far from the train station at all. And it's really nice. The windows open. There are windows, but with that, it's kind of noisy and it gets bright really early here. Really early.
We're talking about sun's out at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. So
the whole neighborhood's got character.
Yeah. So today we came in, we had our traditional sushi, and with Danny from Superior and AJ from Superior. So that was great. And today we busted some chops and we threw down some steps and we saw lots of different things in Copenhagen today. So, Nick, probably what was your maybe top 3 favorite things that you've done here in Copenhagen?
I got to put the boat tour up there, probably at number 1, just because we got to rest our feet. And it was really cool just to learn the history of Copenhagen and see all the landmarks and the points of interest. Number 2, probably, I don't know. I think I got to slide the French hot dogs in there.
Glizzy Goblin.
And 3 is just the food. Just the food combined with the culture is just something really cool to experience, especially for the first time. It's just very, very different than the U.S. Even the convenience stores here, like 7-Eleven,
it's like a Dollar General.
It's nothing like the 7-Elevens at home. They're just on another level.
James, what about you? Like, what would you say your top 3 favorite things specifically in Copenhagen?
Specifically in Copenhagen. Honestly, I think it is the 7-Eleven French hot dog glizzies. I mean, they're delicious. And as you go further on that, like the difference is, and it's not trying to knock them back home, but the food.
Oh, I'll knock some 7-Elevens back home, like straight up.
The 7-Elevens here, or Dollar Generals, however you want to look at them, the food is super fresh, and it hasn't been sitting there for 6 days rolling on the rollers. So that's a plus. Here, specifically in Copenhagen, I think some of the art, the architecture was amazing. Like, there's so many pictures I got just from corners between like almost like 3 streets coming together. It doesn't seem, not that we don't have any back home in the States, but it seems less or few and far between. Where this is, you can see old architecture and new architecture right next to each other, and it still seems to flow and fit, and it's beautiful.
And I will add in that the bicycle culture here is just fascinating.
Right?
You've never seen it. Like, there's bicycles everywhere. The bicycle lanes are as big as the vehicle lanes. It's kind of like a managed chaos with the bikes, but they handle it well.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, getting to walk around and explore a new city, or at least new to me, with these two guys was actually really nice, because we were able to just get lost if we wanted to, and it wasn't like we were on a time schedule. We were able to see things, and we actually got to see a lot of things that we probably wouldn't have if we were trying to just hit point A to point B to point C. And the gift shops were, it was like we looked at the same items like 20 times.
Literally, I think we went in like 20 gift shops.
I kept picking up the same gnome every time and putting it down and going, maybe the next one I go to will be something different. And it wasn't different. So you eventually just picked up the gnome and bought it. But so yeah, that was it. The architecture, the getting lost with these guys in the city, and just the people, honestly, are just amazing. They're so giving.
I think for me, like, coming back to Copenhagen, this is my third year in Copenhagen, and I was trying to figure out some things that I had not seen before. While the boat tour is nice because you get to see a lot of Copenhagen in one fell swoop. Next year, I may try to do the bus tour. Just I can see more of the city and not have to actually walk it. So I may pony up for the bus tour next year. But we saw a lot of like familiar sights. However, we did go to an area of Copenhagen that I had not yet gone to. And so Church of Our Savior, the kind of big spiral cathedral on the other side of the harbor, was always something that I'd wanted to see, but never actually done it. But we did it this year. And we also went through the free town of Christiania. And I'm sure I'm butchering that, but that was really cool, very bohemian. But it was just something, a departure from the normal. And going back, I was also able to take pictures of an actual place as an inspiration for one of the locations in a book series that I really, really like, from Steve Berry, Cotton Malone series. I'd actually passed this building before, but had no idea that this was the inspiration for Cotton's library in his apartment, and it's mentioned in the books numerous times. So that's nice that I can go back and read some of the stories and like, oh yeah, like I've been there. I know exactly where this is at. So that's cool.
I actually climbed the spire in that church you were talking about, and I'm still shaking. It had a railing, but the stairwell kept getting thinner and thinner for the steps, and I actually could not reach the actual top. I was about 4 feet from the actual tip of the spire, it seemed, but I'm too tall, or I was also had a little bit hyperventilating. It was really tall, but I got some nice pictures from up there, and I could reach around the stairwell and touch the top. But that was really cool, though, and I'm glad I had that opportunity to go up there.
And guys, we'll be posting pictures on our Facebook and Instagram in the coming weeks. So please like and follow us on Instagram to see some of those pictures as they are kind of released. So overall impressions, maybe like from your experience, what was your highest point, James, of the entire trip?
Besides the tip top of a church steeple. No, honestly, it was being at the Danish Outdoor Festival. I mean, I know that's the whole point we came, but the people there, I will never forget, and I will always cherish the connection and relationship that we built there.
Nick, what about you? What was your highlight of your trip?
Probably a little bit similar, but like to connect with young Christian and Rune. I feel like I've known those guys forever already. Those are just two great dudes that I look forward to continuing a friendship with. And really just the people and the food. is what comes to mind.
So let's talk about the food here a little bit. Like we've had a lot of really good food. I've even tried some new things that I had not tried before. I've tried pickled herring for the first time. We got the curry marinated one, which was actually really, really good. So food like we had the strawberry jam and cream. I'm not going to pronounce it because I will utterly butcher it. Sorry,
it's
Nels.
Basically the strawberry porridge with the cream, and it was delicious.
It was really good. We had the red deer, which again it has just a very different flavor than the deer we get back home. Breakfast for us usually was, well, butter bread and cheese. Was that something for you all that was kind of, what is this?
Very different. Like, so you eat bread, usually sourdough, with butter on it, and then a slice of cheese. But it works. I mean, it's different and unique, and usually put like a slice of pork or ham on it. It was good. Okay. Simple.
And there were mornings that we would actually, in the bakery, we would decide to try some new pastries. And they were out of this world, amazingly delicious. We would try something different almost every morning, and it never failed to satisfy and uplift us for the rest of the day.
Yeah, shout out to the bakery in Laya that we had. Food there is always a very welcome departure from like the fair food that we get there. However, the fair food was also kind of on fire.
The hamburger was excellent.
And that chicken with the coleslaw and the fries was banging.
You would think like, chicken strips, like woot woot, but no, they were good. They were hitting.
They knew it. Was it country chicken or that they called it? Or
Southern fried chicken.
Yeah. It's just like, you got it.
It was pretty good. And the chili that we had, the chili was interesting too, because they had was it zucchini in it?
Yeah.
And that was kind of a departure. Lots of vegetables. And then, when we roll into Copenhagen, we continue with we had the sushi. We continue with the pastries a little bit. But y'all, I know James and Nick talked about some 7-Eleven, but you could survive in Copenhagen just by, I could live off 7-Eleven. For one, the French glizzies, that we were gobbling some glizzies. Every chance we get, we would roll in, and you can get a twofer of French glizzies, which are essentially, now when they say French hot dogs, they are basically like a baguette that's been circumcised at the top and a hole drilled out of the middle, and then they just stuff the Frankenfurter or your condiments in there. So we had a few different things. We had the remoulade sauce, which was always a fave for me. But this year I kind of fell in love with their chili mayonnaise.
I would say the chili ketchup, but yeah.
I like their hot dog ketchup, which tastes more like cocktail sauce. But it works. It tastes like cocktail sauce.
Maybe like the horseradish or something?
Yeah, it's got like a hint of horseradish in it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, not just that, it's almost like not just that version of the French hot dogs, but actually getting the streetcar or not streetcar, sorry, the street vendor hot dogs as well. They're loaded with like pickles, onions, bacon crisps. I mean,
fried onions.
Fried onions. And I mean, there was one we did have bacon today, and I mean, they're just.
And the good thing about the glizzies are they're affordable.
Oh yeah,
it might be the only affordable thing in food in Copenhagen.
Yes, that was also a shock. I would say was the cost of things here. Personally, I was used to America being high priced on things, and I was wrong. So I admit that I was wrong.
The prices at the airport when we get back are going to seem like, this sounds like a deal. But 7-Eleven, they're they're just a sea of them sprinkled no matter where you go.
And they did
every
not
corner.
sponsor this podcast.
They did not. Now, if you do, I would. But they're kind of like a staple. The jalapeno, or it ended with the chili cheddar. Glizzy was probably like my favorite. It was just right. And they also have like a good snap too. Like it's a natural casing sausage. So it's really good. I might have to get one before we go to the they're also open like 24 hours a day. So that's also
maybe
amazing.
When we finish this podcast.
Yeah,
maybe we'll roll up one last time to get one last Glizzy. So but yeah. So are you guys coming back next year? I'm not going to hold it to you like I am some of the other people. However, I would throw this out. Like, would you come back, and would you encourage someone that has never traveled internationally? Would you say that this trip is accessible for even the newbiest of noobs?
Yeah, it's surprisingly easy, the trip in itself, the logistics, and then once you get here, the public transportation here is so easy and so efficient. And whether you're doing the train, the subway, or the metro, you got options everywhere. On top of your regular Ubers, taxis, you can rent a bicycle if you want, but getting around without a vehicle is extremely easy.
I 100% agree. I enjoyed it. I would love to come back. I would even say I plan to come back. But with that, the caveat is I want to bring my wife with me back because she has international travel, but I think she would have an amazing time here. For a newbie, yes, of course. This would probably be the best place to come if you're new to international travel, because the people here, again, are so welcoming and friendly and willing to help you and treat you like family, even when they've never met you. So this is a must do. Again, 5 out of 5 stars, will repeat.
I think for me, like with the public transportation aspect of it, this hang, I think, is more accessible than even some of the hangs in the South, or even in the States, if you're traveling a long way, especially if you're flying in and you don't have a car. Like the public transportation, like Uber, can be expensive, but public transportation here is relatively very affordable and easily accessible on lots of different lists. And especially in Copenhagen, and even when we were at the festival, walking is not that hard. Can it get tedious every once in a while? Yeah, but if you're planning it right, it opens up so many avenues for you to make your stay easier, and it's really accessible. So, well, thanks guys for coming on this trip. It's getting late for us, and we've got to be at the airport at 6:00 in the morning, and so we're gonna wrap this up. So thanks guys for listening to this week's episode of the Hammock Hangers podcast. If you've liked what you've heard today, please follow us and leave us a like and subscribe on where you get your podcast, as well as throw us a positive review. We always help those. We always like having those positive messages to help feed the algorithm. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. And until next time, happy hanging, everybody.
As we gently sway out of another hammock-filled episode, we want to thank you, our wonderful listeners, for hanging out with us on the Hammock Hangers podcast. We hope that you have found relaxation, inspiration, and a renewed sense of connection to nature through our discussions. Remember to keep that hammock spirit alive in your daily life, whether it's by taking a few moments to unwind in your own backyard oasis, or by planning your next hammock adventure in the great outdoors. Embracing the tranquility, embracing the simplicity, and never forget the joy that comes from simply hanging around. Before we part ways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all things hammock related. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for the Hammock Hangers Podcast. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to hang with you again on our next episode. Until then, stay relaxed, stay adventurous, and keep on hanging those hammocks high. From all of us here at the Hammock Hangers Podcast, we wish you peaceful hangs and endless relaxation. Thank you for tuning in. Happy hanging, everyone.